We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow! Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
Oh, welcome out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and of course, SideScrollersPodcast.com. Hello, everybody. I'm back from the dead without my Utah hat. Good to see everybody. I'm glad you're here. Welcome on out, everybody. Hello, Blabs. Thanks for holding it down the last few days.
Oh, hello. It's been lovely.
Yes, there it is. Lovely indeed. Chat, have you loved Blabs? Holding it down, doing her best? No, you didn't. Oh, no.
I'm not a host. I willingly acknowledge that. I just do my very bestest.
That's right.
I am producer, not host.
You're doing your best. I think that's the most important thing.
When you try your best and you don't succeed.
Sure, Blabs.
Yeah.
Hey, can you fix that? Okay, thank you for getting
Yeah,
that.
I just did.
Appreciate it.
That's why I said yeah in the chat and gave you a dirty look.
It's good. Well, glad everybody's here today, including Wednesday. It means it's Arch Day. Hello, Arch. Great to see you.
Hello. Thank you for having me back again. I think this will be a fun one.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Hey, you know what? We should do that. Extreme close-up. Whoa!
Wow.
But my camera is obviously lower resolution than everybody else's. I feel bad now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm no longer low res. It's like high res to low.
We should. The extreme close-up is great, though. That's straight out.
No
of
thanks.
That's good. Yes, and the chat is at least one guy is asking. Shape Force the Mind says, "Where the fuck are the cloaks?"
Well, look, Arch is wearing a t-shirt. Like, it's starting to get too hot, you know?
Yep. We're getting to the summer part of the year again.
Okay. Well, we are back, ready to go. At least Blabs has been holding it down. Now I'm back here on this wonderful Wednesday. Appreciate you guys kicking ass with Kay and all of our wonderful guests over the last few days. She did an excellent job. So
Yes,
I thank you,
best.
Kay, for holding it down, doing awesome stuff. Okay, so we got a few things to talk about today. First and foremost, number one, if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Join the 116,000 just normal men. It'd be great if you did. Also, hit the thumbs up button. Part of your routine coming in, pop, hitting that thumbs up button, letting people know, letting YouTube know, letting the algorithm know. If you're watching over on Rumble, hitting the thumbs up button, letting them know that you're watching the show. Would really appreciate that. By the way, we're closing in on 10,000 followers over on Rumble. So if you haven't yet, hit the follow button over on Rumble. I think that's a good thing. We have we have three normal men. Brand new Montez animations. 3 guys. I want to show off at least one today. So let's do our best to get to our Montez goal of 20 yellow supers. And probably the biggest and most important thing, Arch, out of me being gone was I lost my hat.
I see that. You're looking respectable and presentable rather than the... I'll stop there.
Thanks, Arch. Appreciate it. Did you hear that, Blabs? I'm respectable and presentable.
What's up, Rachel Maddow? How you doing?
Listen, Rachel Maddow can't pull this shit off. Let's go. All right. But I did lose my hat, and that was
How'd
was
that
tough.
happen?
So I spent the weekend at a sporting event that my daughter was at, and it was like kind of a last second thing that she was competing in. And you walk around these things with backpacks on, with snacks and all sorts of stuff. And I snapped my hat to the top of the like little clasp at the
Oh no!
and it somehow fell off. So you know what? I had worn
Greg's
that
hat's
hat.
probably crying somewhere in Florida, going, "Help me, save me, come get me." It's
I
all
know.
left alone.
I know. It's just sitting there in the corner with dirt on it, just waiting for daddy
That's
to show
so
up.
sad, bro.
But you know what? It's gone. And you know what? That's okay. It was the best fitting hat I've ever had. Like people are like, why do you wear the Utah hat? It's like, because it feels good on my head. That's why. That's the only reason why. But I'll tell you what. This will give me an opportunity to go with my second skin here of the glasses and no hat for a while until I find a new hat to don on the show. And even when I do, some people will hate that. But that does give us an opportunity to talk about hair and today's sponsor of the show, MD Hair. If you've been following the show for a while, you know I've been very honest about my hair journey. The one thing I learned during my process is that I didn't do enough to prevent hair loss, which is why I'm extremely excited about today's sponsor, MD Hair. MD Hair is the world's first medical grade hair growth treatment customized to the exact cause and type of hair loss. The website uses a quiz and a scalp picture analysis to customize each kit, which I have right here. My kit includes customized shampoo, serum, and supplements. I simply went to the MD Hair website, took a quiz in like 3 minutes, and then they sent me a customized hair growth kit. And the products are great because they're natural and backed by science. MD Hair made it incredibly easy for me to understand what was going on my noggin, and it got right to the point. If you're looking in the mirror and you're like, I think it's thinning out a little bit, it is thinning out a little bit, I promise you, and you want to get ahead of it. Use our promo code SIDE70 and get your first month of customizable products at 70% off. Click the link in the description to learn more. Trust me, you will not regret it. And remember, MD Hair supports us, so please support them. All right, so please head over there. We got the link in the pinned chat as well as in the description. And if you're watching on the archive, you can check out the link to our custom link over at MD Hair down in the comments as well. So it's pretty much everywhere. Get 70% off. We'd greatly appreciate it. Like I said in the video, like I didn't take it seriously when I first saw it. So take it seriously, y'all. Arch, you don't have to worry about that. You got a nice little mane up there, huh?
Well, my hairline, despite being very high, has never shifted in my entire life. There are pictures of baby Arch with basically a damn near same bald headline. So that's something.
I need to see these photos. You should show them off on Twitter one day, or like make it your avatar on Twitter. It's just like baby Arch with a big hairline.
I think I will kill myself first.
No, that sounds awesome. I love everything about that. That's great. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for MD Hair once again for sponsoring the episode. I know that a lot of normal men out there deal with male pattern baldness, which is why I wanted to bring them on as a sponsor, which is great. All right. We always like to start the show off with Today in Gaming History. So, Blabs, what do we got today?
Okay. Spider, the video game, was released in 1997. The Sims 2 Free Time was released in 2008. And Halo Wars was released in Japan today in 2009. Notice I put JP on there for you? Look at that.
Yeah, not Jap.
Not racist anymore.
There you go, Blabs.
The end.
What's the one thing I can't say about people in
The
that
ABO in Australia.
You can't say ABO?
No, you can't pronounce it.
Because Aborigines.
Yeah, it's like the N-word for them. Like they will beat the shit out of you, actually.
You know who also kicked the crap out of you, Blabs? Japanese.
Like most people. Oh, I was gonna say, I'm 5'4", literally the world.
Oh my god! All right, look, we
Aboriginal is a slur.
What's that, Blabs? Or what's that, Arch?
Aboriginal?
No. It's just like the abbreviation of it. The
You can't say
ABO.
abo.
No, now you did. Yeah.
You're not allowed to say that, Arch.
And technically speaking, like you'll get the crap beaten out of you in Australia if you say that.
Well, good thing I'm in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem here.
He's gonna go find a mountain and be like, beep, just like yell out to the distance.
YOLO, let's go. That's right.
That's exactly it.
All right, quick reminder, this coming Monday and pretty much all next week, it's going to be big. We are unveiling our year 3 setup. So make sure you guys are here coming up on Monday, year 3, Monday, 3-3. See how they did that? And we're doing a 3-hour show because guess what? Blabs is going to be here, right here. And so is Phoenix.
More like the floor. Craig is putting me on the floor to stream.
I think we'll put a
dog cam.
A little we've been asking for dog cam. We'll do Blabs cam, and we'll just put you right behind next to NBA Jam over here, which is awesome. Yeah, it'll be good. So,
Off the camera and everything. Fire away.
right, it'll be a great show. So make sure you guys tune in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of all next week because we're doing some fun stuff. We're going out. We're going to do all sorts of Texas things, Arch. We're going to go out and eat some barbecue.
He's going to try to make me fat and happy.
Fat and happy. Oh, no.
How dare I? Damn. So big week next week. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Some noticeable games you missed on Today in Gaming History, Blabs, include Tenchu, Stealth Assassins for the PlayStation, released 27 years ago. Tenchu, which was a pretty big title back in the day. Let's see. I don't really see anything else. Oh, Yakuza 3 was released 16 years ago in 2019. Nintendogs, Blabs. Nintendogs and Cats.
Okay, that I wanted to include, but I think that's Japan release, right? But yeah, I saw this lovely post about Nintendogs on Facebook the other day, and it was this person who apparently goes back and feeds their dogs every single day since the inception of the game that was released, and they just do it out of comfort. And they're like, everyone else like has left their animals and their dogs, but me, I still play. And I'm like, that is so sweet. Like this person just does it as a routine every single night. They open up their DS, they just tap, 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 and then they go back to bed. Isn't that lovely? What?
Well, there is an alternative view on that as well. It would be that one dog is fed whilst tens of thousands of other animals are starving right now, unable to die for
they're stuck
years
forever.
and years.
These poor digital dogs and cats just withering away in digital digital realm. Oh my god.
Yeah. There was like thousands of people commenting on this saying like, yeah, I go back every once in a while and it's really nice to go back through nostalgia and feed the dogs, and then you forget about them and then you're like, ah, shit. Yeah. What, Craig?
Well, I mean, I was looking at it. You were like, it's so sweet. I think it's actually kind of pathetic, if I'm being honest with you.
Why? Because somebody has a routine and they just play Nintendogs, minding their own business and feed like, digital dogs. What if they can't have a dog in real life,
Nintendogs has been out for, let's see, 14 years. So
well, listen, chat. First of all, I never had Nintendogs. Don't be like, she starved her dogs. I started my Tamagotchis. Get your shit together. Not Nintendogs.
Well, I'm glad we could establish that. Thank you, Blabs. Appreciate it.
I had lots of Tamagotchis. They were great. And then I let them die.
And they all died. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Some other noticeable games that were released today include Stardew Valley, Blabs. 9 years ago. That's a pretty damn big one right there.
Listen. Halo Wars.
Okay, sounds good. Also, the Nintendo 3DS was released.
Okay, so that isn't my bad. I didn't see that. And it makes you feel better. Next week, there's a bunch of console birthdays, okay? Okay.
Hooray. Huzzah. Doesn't make me feel better about today. That's good. That's okay. Good job, Blabs. Way to go. All right. Look, we do have, like I said, we do have a couple. We have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 new Montez animations to share with you guys today. So let's get to our Montez goal. As Raptor Chaos came into the tent, says yes, because at least Blabs was on time. Montez.
This is true. We started on the dot every single time, and in 1080p.
Me too.
Oh, wow. You finally got there.
We're in 1080p every day, Blabs. Ridiculous. David says the only bad thing about Blabs hosting is there was no one to cut her off mid fatality.
It's true. My fatalities are always included.
Corona Soul says, I would like to see the new Montez animations. Listen, there's 3 of them, and I don't even want to tell you what they are. I want you guys to be surprised when Arch gets to pick which one we go to. Raptor Kratos says, Craig, I'm surprised that you have not that you don't have a backup hat or wear a side scroller's hat. I do. Honestly, I haven't found a side scroller's hat that I truly
that fits right.
That's the biggest.
You have
thing
a weird shaped head too, huh?
No, I don't.
Just me.
Dude, hey, side note. Did you see, speaking of misshaped heads, you know that streamer Ludwig? Have you ever heard of this guy?
No.
Okay, Ludwig, I actually have a little bit of background with this guy. Arch, are you familiar with Ludwig?
Never heard it.
Okay. So Ludwig is oh yeah, this is okay. So I'll pull it up here in a second. Ludwig was a guy who was he's a streamer. He's popped off in the last several years. I actually have a little bit of background with this guy because he, back several years ago when I had another brand called Game Attack, he reached out to us and was like, "Hey, I'd love to come on your show." Right. And he came in and he actually traveled to us. We didn't know he paid his own way. He said he was like coming through town and stuff. And he was like looking for opportunities to be on stuff. Anyways, we played some games with him. And we recorded it, but it never aired. It never aired because we switched. I don't remember why, but he got really pissed and he like held a grudge for a long time. And I think he like still holds a grudge against me for whatever reason. Anyways, that's my background with this guy outside of like he showed up one day and we played Mario Party. But he recently had to shave his head. And I'm going to tell you what, you want to talk about a guy with a misshaped head? I thank God every day. When I was shaving my head, I did not have this guy's head. Look at that misshaped head.
What's wrong with his head?
I don't know. I
It's
don't
chunks
know.
missing from it.
Yes, it's.
Maybe he fell a lot when he was a child and got a bunch of dents.
I guess that is a straight up misshaped head. You know what it reminds me of is that meme of that guy who's like in the room like squeezing. He's got the veins sticking out like he's trying not to fart in his class. You know that one? Have you seen that? Yeah, surely you have. Anyways,
Right.
Ludwig. Yeah, shut up, Blabs. Not a good look. Not a good. That's how I imagine you'd look if you shaved your head. Is Arch around? Is Arch still here? Did Arch leave?
I don't know if I want to think about that, Alexander. I'll say, I think I'd have a very smooth Neanderthal head, like a very large back section, basically.
Okay. Well, you tell me that you don't think that your brain would be formed all around like this on the outside, all weird.
See, now I'm getting suspicious, but I can't feel any dents. So,
You know, he looks like Elliot Page or Ellen Page. You see it, right? I see it.
Ludwig looks like Elliot Page.
You see it though. Look, especially in that photo. Leave it there. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find a photo. Hang on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We'll do that. Hey, Marius came in, says my contributions towards the Buy Craig a New Hat Fund. Go Montez. Marius, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Joey says Nintendogs now has the same average lifespan of a dog. Oh, nice.
Oh.
Thanks, Joey. And Corona Soul says there's a medieval. Oh no.
You're telling me look how similar they look.
Ludwig could just be a trans person for all we know.
Maybe he is.
Yeah, who knows? All right. Okay. Well, thank
The
you.
more you
Blabs.
know.
maybe it causes head dents when you go through it. Has anybody shaved Elliot Page to find out?
Ooh, I don't think anyone wants to go that far with Elliot Page right there. Corona Soul came in and says there's a Medieval Times in Dallas. I went there when I still lived in Texas. Has Craig or Blabs ever been?
I've
Because
been to Medieval Times. They're fun, but the food's shit.
Oh man, I think the food's actually pretty good. Arch, are you familiar with what Medieval Times is? Do you know what this is?
No, we have a kind of sort of. I think from the name, I have a reasonable guess. I haven't been to one because we don't have those over here. We have Viking equivalents, basically.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is. Medieval Times, dinner and tournament, where you go in and you fight. There's a dinner and it's an experience unlike any other, as it says on the website. So you go in, you buy the tickets, and you watch the tournament, and it's what you saw in what was that damn movie? Cable Guy with Jim Carrey. You'd go and yeah. So maybe Blabs will take. No, we won't take. We will not take you, Blabs.
No, it's all right. I've been already when I was a kid. One of my dragons.
You muted yourself.
No, it's my freaking USB just disconnected. Anyway, I have a dragon right there from Medieval Times. You can't really see it, but it's right there.
Thanks for sharing. Matt Hatter came in with the 10, says, bumped into my ex yesterday. Felt like shit ever since. I thought I was past this and over her. but I guess not. Save me, Montez. Mad Hatter, it's okay. Listen, how long has it been? Hopefully it's been longer than like a couple weeks and you can move past it. Sometimes being around the ex will stir up weird feelings, and it takes a while. You got what I've always heard is that however long the relationship was, that's how long it takes to get over. So there's that.
My advice is that sometimes you gotta travel along by yourself to be better off, you know? Sometimes you're in the wrong company.
You got some Arch, you got any breakup advice?
Have you considered building an effigy of her in your basement?
What the fuck?
Arch, how many warning lists are you on in your country?
Not enough.
I love the idea that just some sort of shrine. Just build a shrine. It'll be all right.
Listen, I have a long history of dysfunctional relationships. The scar on my forehead is one of them.
What, you have a scar on your forehead?
Oh my
you
God,
sure
he does.
do.
I
Look
see
at that.
it.
Wow, what a
All right,
badass.
details. What
All
happened?
right, yeah. Spill the beans.
Oh, that was one of my well, see here, I am prolific advocate for sticking your dick in crazy. I do that as it's a genuine virtue of mankind. But sometimes they have weapons, and that's when things get complicated.
Blaz, please put the time code for
Yeah,
that.
I already got that. Yeah,
let's go into the intro. That's good. That will replace your nice little thing in the intro. We'll put.
Your girlfriend stabbed you, Arch?
Yeah.
No, not stabbed. Just sliced at me.
For what?
With knife, scissors. What are we
With
talking
a potato?
here?
Like
please.
what?
A knife, a steak knife.
Why? What have you done?
Was
What'd
this
she
dirt?
do?
Was this while the dick was being in the crazy?
No. This was in the intermittence between. Yes.
Okay.
No, I
Was she
maintain I
kinky
did
or
absolutely nothing
something?
wrong. What?
Was she like kinky or something? She's like, I like playing with knives.
No, this wasn't a sex thing. This was a angry girlfriend thing.
Bruh.
She nearly stabbed your eye out, dude.
Well, stabbed again. A slice. There's a difference.
Did you go to the doctors or the hospital or anything?
I had to sew like 3 stitches, I think.
You had to? You did it to yourself? Look in the mirror. Like,
Well, no, I had to get 3 stitches.
okay,
more
I was gonna
correctly.
say, like, oh my God.
Yeah, important question here. And Fistef is in the chat is right. Was this a blonde? And let's
That
Let's
says
play the-
Felstef, not Fistef.
okay, Felstef, thank you. Oh, well, the I and the L sometimes.
You sure those
sometimes
glasses work, bro?
They're good. They're good. Felstef wants to know the color of her hair, and I think this is actually an important question.
Is
Chat,
she a blonde?
blonde, brunette, or redhead? I'm putting my money on. Well, let's see. You are in Norway. Probably not many redheads. 'cause
Blonde. I'm gonna say
redheads
she's blonde.
are usually crazier. I'm gonna go blonde,
Yeah,
but
I wasn't sure. It's Norway.
but the redhead is generally more crazy. So, hair color, Arch?
Blonde.
Blonde.
Ah!
Okay. Yes. Okay. Sounds good. She knows how to wield a knife, just apparently not very well, which is rough.
Well, maybe she wanted to go for the forehead and not like the eyeballs.
She wanted
Maybe
to
she spared you.
She's tried to Harry Potter him up over there.
You are the chosen one.
You were the chosen one, Arch. Ah!
That's
Whoa.
Star Wars. Wrong chosen one.
Well, I was okay. Israel says this is for Montez. Let's go. Let's get it today. Dark Meat Collins says Arch is the boy who lives.
I did live. I did.
Congratulations, Arch. Dave says food for thought. Tex-Mex for Blabs in her tower. El Ranchito. Papacitos Glorias. The Victoria. Donna Lencha. Yeah, listen, Dave. Blabs is going to leave 10 pounds heavier by the time she.
I hope not.
No, you're going to love it. You'll be fat and happy.
I don't
Be
want to
good.
be.
You don't
Can
want
I
to
just be happy?
Just fat. That'd be good.
Damn. Not even happy. It's going to be the miserable trip.
Sujad says, Arch is wrong. Sticking your rod in crazy is a real bad idea. I did it once and I still have the traumas from it. Make sure Arch eats a Vindaloo curry when you get them in the States.
That's a real loser attitude there. Okay. It may be a bit of a ride, but it's worth it. There might be some trauma
God.
involved. But listen, I have been hardened by this. I've had nothing but dysfunctional relationships, I'm pretty sure. Now, at some point, you might be wondering whether the communal factor is me.
Mhm.
I reject that theory and simply think that I have a type.
Type is batshit crazy. Got it. Sounds good.
Yes.
You should see the scars he has on the rest of his body, Blabs.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to see. I'm just assuming there's a whole bunch of scars and stuff.
Oh, yeah. One more on my arm. A big.
Oh.
From what?
No, I don't think you can see it. It's too light. It's too old now.
You got sunlight.
What the
Good.
hell, man?
Too old.
If your partner is leaving scars on you, time to go. The scars I have
Time
are
to
from
double
chickens.
down.
I was just like, come on, let's go.
I think you have a kink for like the psychopaths. That's your kink. You're like, oh yeah, you like Tommy mommies, don't you?
Mentally unstable women are the best women.
He likes Tommy mommies, confirmed.
Just how it is.
One Tired Gamer says, hello, Craig, Blabs, Arch. Arch update on Dan's new book. Take the camaraderie and likable characters of Top Gun and put them in a combat scenario like Stalingrad.
That does sound good.
All right, thanks, One Tired Gamer. Marmalin says, been there, Arch. Walking up with a knife to your throat is hold on. Waking up with a knife to your throat is a wild time over a wallet I never touched. Never back to the crazy after that.
I haven't had that one. This was during broad daylight, and I vividly remember thinking to myself, this could be bad.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I've long wanted to do a relationship show. Like I'm talking for like a decade. I wanted to do a relationship style show. Arch, you will be on that show.
Contestant number 1, Arch.
I have at least one story that is very, very, very good for this.
Go on.
No. We'll save it.
Ah.
Tenarian came in with the 10, says, hey, Arch, tell them the story of Grandpa's sock. Also, hi from Faroe Islands. We pretty much eat the same food as Norwegians, fermented and dried fish and meat plus potatoes. Oh.
Faroe
that is
Islands.
awesome.
It should be a rightful part of Norway, mind you.
Oh, of course.
Surrender your sovereignty, please.
Yo, that place is beautiful. Like, props to you for living there. Nice. Can I come visit?
Got to be honest, never even heard of it before.
It's a tiny ass little cluster of islands.
You disappoint me.
Why would I disappoint you? I've never heard.
Every time.
Hello.
Where is this place? Who's that?
Well, I'm just saying, like I've never heard of the Faroe Islands, and now I'm going to go to Faroe Islands. Look,
He's like Frere Jacques.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. The fact that we are streaming live from all over the world, and we are showing up, and we have a wonderful normal man in the Faroe Islands.fo. I think that's awesome. Look at the big picture. Look at that. That's a big picture of a rock.
Big
Good.
picture.
Yeah, that's a giant picture. Then there you are, right there.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
Like
there
I
you
said,
go.
we should be owning that. And Shetland and Orkney as well. All Norwegian, technically.
I feel like Arch is like an evil dictator on the side. I shall rule you all.
Oh, God. We got to stop with that. That right there. Okay, that's cool. Well, it's awesome that our show reaches you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Corrigan says, my crazy ex never physically assaulted me, but she broke me down so much I tried to unalive myself. Oh my God. Spent a few days in hospital, but thankfully family and friends helped me, and now I'm great. Montez, let's go. Corrigan, glad you're with us, buddy. Women generally have the opportunity to do that. They do break you down mentally to the point of submission. That is a normal thing. Blabs, don't do that. We know it's true. You know it's true, Blabs.
Yeah, no, I disagree with this one
smirking.
too. I've never had that.
Well.
Be the crazy in the relationship.
But if she's crazy, you go to the next level.
You top her.
You always got to one up.
You assert dominance.
Maybe Arch. Maybe that's why you haven't had a successful relationship at this point.
I mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah.
Just throwing it out there. Maybe the strategy needs to be rethought. Although I do appreciate it, Arch. I do appreciate the strat. That's funny. John says, if the 3DS came out today, that also means the Super Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS came out. Spent countless hours in that game. You are correct. I think that was a launch title for the 3DS. Thank you, John. And Rekka picked up the Normal Man t-shirt. It says just Normal Man in need of a normal shirt. Love that. Thanks, Rekka. Appreciate you going over to sidescrollersmerch.com and picking up some swag over there. Okay, look, we've dilly-dallied around for a good while on this show already. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, but let's get into it, friends. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. Arch, I got an important question for you, friend. How big is bowling in Norway?
Surprisingly large, I guess. In that most of our entertainment halls where you go to have fun usually does have bowling, but it's not something we spend a great deal of time thinking about.
Well, I would say, Blabs, how would you, like in the grand scale of leisure activities in the United States and Guam, where would bowling rank?
Not very high, honestly. I feel like it's fallen off a bit.
I think it's seen its heyday. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's certainly seen its heyday, but bowling alleys still very much are a thing. You know, they're very much a big deal, and people could go, and I'd say it's more of a youth activity, but those who bowl, they bowl seriously, man. They are totally into it. Well, we have an anniversary today of quite possibly one of the most viral bowling moments ever. There's a professional bowlers association here in the United States, Archer. I like that. And you want to be Archer? I'll call you Archer. And there was a man named Pete Weber. Now, Pete Weber is a legend when it comes to the Professional Bowlers Association. He is born in 1962. He is 5'7" tall. He has won 47 PBA regional tours, 9 PBA 50 regional tours. He has got 10 majors. He is a major superstar growing up in Missouri, and also the son of bowling superstar Dick Weber. We're talking about Pete Weber. And 13 years ago, when all the chips were down, Arch, when everything needed to happen and he needed one strike to win the game, we had this viral moment.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it!
That is right. I did it. That's number 5. Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. But right.
Who do you think you are? I am, Arch. The greatest line ever uttered in professional sports. Have you seen that clip before?
No, but I like the little curve the ball did at the end.
I was searching for this meme this entire time, and I finally found it.
Okay.
I saw this on Monday, and I was pissing myself laughing. Even Kay saw it. We didn't share it because they had music too, but I found the original audio with there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Watch this.
Wait, go back, please.
He just grabs this random dude's head.
Just kind of sitting out there. That's good. Yeah. Well, Pete Weber, the greatness that is, uttering, "Who do you think you are? I am," in a moment of sheer ecstasy, if you will, hitting the strike and winning the tournament. What a star he is. Do you have any amazing sports moments like that in Norway, Arch, that you can think about?
We beat Brazil once in football.
That actually is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
The one time, though, right?
Yeah, the one time.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember
that one thing? See, like, the thing is, Norway dominates so hard in winter sports. It's just expected now. We take like bronze, gold, and silver like every race, so we don't care about that sport anymore. It's just Tuesday to us. But we did have a football team once, so that was kind of big, I guess.
Nice. Well, congratulations on beating
We made
Brazil
ice
that
creams
one.
out of them.
You did what?
We made ice creams out of them. Not as out of the players, but we made ice creams themed on the players.
What, on the soccer game?
Yeah, that's football.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. And you made ice cream out of that?
We did.
Breaking news, in Norway they eat ice cream. It's always cold there. What is happening? I don't understand. I thought you guys didn't like flavor over there.
Well, it's mostly vanilla with a little bit of strawberry in it, if I remember correctly. So it's not too flavorful for our palates.
Your brain would explode with a hint of chocolate, because we all know there's not a whole lot of chocolate over there in Norway, is there, Arch?
We used to have a brand that was making all kinds of ice cream, but they were cancelled because they had an Eskimo on their wrappers, which was racist.
Oh man, Norway, you guys are stupid. I love it. Hey, that's no worse than us.
You're so mean, Craig. Norway's stupid. What the hell's Faroe Islands?
No.
Oh, God.
Hey, it's no worse than us canceling Aunt Jemima over here in the United States.
Dumb.
Did you ever hear about that, Arch?
I did hear about that, yes. I was looking forward to them replacing her with a white woman just to hammer home the point, but I don't think they went quite that far.
No. Oh my God. Well, Aunt Jemima, rest in peace, and rest in peace, chocolate over in Norway over there. We have this story over here, but before we do, holy shit, let's talk about some of the support you guys have thrown our way. First, John came in with the $20 super chat. Let's stink and go. Says, thanks to a crazy X, I learned I can drive a 5-speed transmission pickup with a royal blue paper mat pin sticking out of my right thigh.
Oh.
Holy shit.
It was definitely interesting explaining it to the nurse. All right, listen, John's the leader in the clubhouse right now. Who's got the crazy X story?
Bro.
Let us know who's got the craziest.
Stabbed you with a pen in the thigh.
Straight on.
And the thing is, 5-speed transmission, does that mean that was a manual? You have to use both legs. So he's literally using his other leg that's been stabbed to drive.
John,
That
you're
has
winning.
to hurt.
You are the leader in the clubhouse right now, John.
Bruh.
Thank you very much.
It's the natural male urge, no matter how wounded you are, to simply go on as if everything is normal.
Just keep on going. He's walking around. He's got this thing sticking out of his thigh. I love it.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Flying Dutchman came in and says, there are two things I hate in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
I hate the Dutch too.
All right. I love it. Thank you very much. And Hitler rolled a 9. Came in with a $50 super chat. Let's go. He says, question for Craig. Have you ever thought about doing something I'd call Normal Men Mondays and Normal Women Wednesdays, where each Monday and Wednesday, along with your regular host, you have one male and one female fan? If so, I volunteer as tribute. Huh. It's interesting you brought that up. Hitler rolled a 9, because we may have some news for you next week on Monday when Blabs is in town, and so for our big year 3 rollout. So make sure you guys tune in on Monday when we are going to be rolling out all sorts of stuff.
Weird how you said rolling and roll the 9.
Yeah, see what I did there? That's good. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But guys, we are 2 10s away from our first big old Montez animation today. Once again, 3 new animations for you to choose from today, Arch, which hopefully we'll get to in just a second. John says, Arch in the relationship be like, I made you breakfast in bed. Don't ask questions like, who are you? And how did you get into my bed? How'd you get into my house? Bullshit. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Tenarian came in with the 10s. Says, at least Craig's reactions to hearing of the Faroe Islands wasn't, Egypt, a common reaction before the internet. Gotta say, I'm liking Arch more and more as a fellow Nordic man, and scars on my eyebrows, arms, and dingus for similar reasons. What?
Yeah, you should always make sure that the dingus at least is protected. Although that is not already always possible.
Okay. Blabs in the chat says, I have breaking news. Dare I, Blabs?
Yeah.
Breaking news! I don't even know what it is. Blabs is giving it to us right now. What do we have?
The actress Michelle Trachtenberg dead at 39. Everyone knows this chick. She was the it chick back in the early 2000s. She's dead.
What's she dead from?
They don't know. They just found her. Stupid pop-ups. Known for a wide range of TV and film roles, including Buffy the Vampire, Gossip Girl. She was also an Ice Princess. She was the main chick. Found dead at 8 a.m.
She looks familiar.
Yeah, she was everywhere back in the early 2000s
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
Euro
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah, she was everywhere. She was in 17 again. Whoa, bro. She's young.
Yeah, 39.
39.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Anyway, that's my breaking news.
well,
I take personal responsibility for this because I was rewatching Buffy and thinking like this is actually really good, and something had to happen to remind me of how everything good is dead. So that's on me.
way to go, Arch. You did it. You killed her.
Make sure you turn in. This is a side scroller exclusive.
Thank you. Hey, the mystery Caymans has been trying to get that Montez goal these past couple days. Hope we get that new Montez. Well, we're now just one away from getting there. That's good. Let's get on that. All right. While we have that breaking news, and obviously, what was her name again?
Dude, her name was Michelle Trachtenberg. I can never say her last name. Michelle Trachtenberg.
Michelle Trachtenberg, rest in peace.
Bro, that's wild though. Like, she was everywhere.
Okay, hold on. Let's play the speculation game. Is it fair? No, it's not. All right, but we're going to. Because everybody does it. All right. Was it A, a drug overdose? B, suicide? C, what's it say?
Says she appeared gaunt and frail, prompting some fans to comment about her startling weight loss or ask if she was on drugs.
Okay.
So it could also have been like a Chadwick Boseman thing. Remember, everyone was shitting all over him, and then he ended up dying of cancer because he was so skinny. So maybe we shouldn't play that game just yet.
Well, no, it's okay to play that game.
Craig's like, I want to be a douche. Let me play my game.
Look, this is what we do on our show. We speculate. We talk about these things, right? Like
That's her on Buffy, by the way.
Okay, all right. Was it C, a blood clot?
Ugh.
Just throwing that out there. All right.
Hey,
guess
it
what?
was Ariana Grande's new diet that makes her look like she was recently released from a certain camp in Poland, circa 1944.
Dude, what the hell's going on with that lady?
Like
that is insane.
I'm pretty sure she's. I mean, there's got to be some abuse there. No fucking way. No fucking way.
Oh my God, that's nuts. Raiden Roach says, "Let's go, Montez." Then Marmalin came into the 10. Says, "Play that game, Craig." I think it was a clot shot overdose. I don't know. Hey, you know what's exciting? Montez, let's stink and go. Arch, we're there, buddy. We have 3 new animations to go for Montez. Will the Montez Slam take place in Duck Hunt, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, or Tetris? Arch.
Well, Duck Hunt, obviously.
There you go. Brand new Montez for you guys. First time ever. And we have 2 more we'd love to show you guys. Maybe we can get to another one today. Let me go to reset our Montez goal, because why the hell not? Because let's stink and go. Let's pop it in. Well, let's go with Sweet 15, because why not? Yeah, Montez times 2. All right, let's start that goal. There we go. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about some video games here, and not a dead actress who died at 39. That's really unfortunate. Hey, you want to talk about Dragon Age Veilguard for a second? Saw this coming down right before the show started. They are now giving away Dragon Age Veilguard as part of PlayStation Plus Arch, coming up next month.
Sounds like a punishment more so than an incentive, but oh well.
Well, Dragon Age Veilguard obviously has not done it. Look, it's been shrouded in controversy. They've said they're not going to support the game. Did not do very well in the grand scheme of things. And now it's being released with Sonic Colors and the Cowabunga Collection, which, Blabs, we do a quick glance and see when the Cowabunga Collection, I want to know when TMNT, the Cowabunga Collection, and Sonic Colors Ultimate were originally released. And I also want to know the release date for Dragon Age Veilguard.
Okay, so Cowabunga Collection was released in 2022.
So 3 years ago. Got it. What about Sonic Colors Ultimate?
2021.
Okay, so 4
And then
years
Dragon
ago.
Age came out a couple months ago.
A couple months ago. They are now giving it away for free as a part of PlayStation Plus next month. Arch, I know you are not going to be playing because you are PC Master Race, but do you have any do you think this will do any good for the reception to Dragon Age Veilguard? Think anybody's going to be into this at all with them giving it away?
I doubt it, but I have observed a fascinating little phenomenon on Twitter recently with Avowed, which is a painfully mediocre game. With people like still going like, oh, it's really good. I even saw one Twitter post which was like, I'm happy that there's no crime system in Avowed or ability to kill NPCs because it takes away from the purity of the video game. We've hit levels now where people have forgotten how good gaming used to be, to the point that literally just flashing lights and like blinking things in the distance is enough to please them. So
they got TikTok rot brain going on. It's like, oh, there's flashing lights. That's right. Speaking of Dragon Age Veilguard, now we're talking about PlayStation Plus, but over on Steam right now, once again, this game was released. I can't even believe I'm saying this. This was released on Halloween. Yes, and it peaked out on November 3rd, but right now it has a massive 1,777 players playing it over on Steam. In 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, it is being 3 months since release. It's now being offered for free. This almost died as fast as that one actress we just talked about.
Damn, bro.
What, Blabs?
Nothing. You do you.
Damn, just saying. So rest in peace there, Dragon Age Veilguard. It's rough to see. Rough to see for you. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. I like to talk about what other streamers are saying because I feel like streamers are, I think they're very, very important in today's culture as far as, people hanging out with people online, the messaging that's portrayed. And obviously we talked about Asmongold, several times on the channel. We talked about him, things that he says, controversies he's in and stuff. Because a lot of people really just don't like the guy. And I think if you watch any of his stuff, which I have watched, I'm not going to say like a full stream, but I like to know who I'm talking about when it comes to this. There was a clip that got passed around, Arch, from this person. Says, Asmongold hit the nail on the head once again. GamerGate showed many young men how much the system hated them. And Trump's win can be directly attributed to GamerGate. Without GamerGate, there was no viral skeptic or anti-SJW movement. You shouldn't have touched my games. Have you seen this clip, Arch?
I don't know if I've seen the clip specifically, no.
Okay, let's check this out.
I think that the gamer ripple effect from, let's say, GamerGate actually did have a second or third or fourth order effect that ended up getting Donald Trump elected. I do. I think that it radicalized a lot of young guys and they were fucking annoyed by it. Absolutely. And now I'm not going to say, but it did, because it got them out of their cave. It got them out of the grandma's basement, and they went down to the voting booth and they voted against whoever the fuck is going to make their main new character a girl. You want to make it oh wow, you're going to cover up her cleavage? Okay, well, I'm going to cover up your chances to be an elected representative. Absolutely, that's what happened. Now, I'm not saying it was a big effect, but I'm saying it happened, and I'm saying it mattered. That's it.
Arch, your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's true. And we've known this for a while. In fact, there's a lovely quote for this from like 30 years ago now, I think, by a man called Alexander Solzhenitsyn. Solzhenitsyn, something Russian, which goes something along the lines of, the most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who want to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business, but sometimes they are simply not allowed to. And this is what we saw here, as all of us were very happy simply playing our video games and doing whatever the hell we wanted. And then the ethics in games journalism question popped up when a woman was banging the man reviewing her video game and went, hold on, that's not right. And then they started attacking us, and we were very much so shocked. Like, what? What's going on now? And then we started looking into it and realizing this is a much bigger thing. There are conspiracies going on here. All of these people are simming from the same hymn sheet. All of these people have been educated in the same institutions. The professors are all simming the same hymn sheet. Then you begin digging and digging and digging, and eventually you realize that this is actually a significantly sized political movement. And 20 years later, once it has gone fully mask off, as it was forced to do a little bit early due to the major attention that was spun around it, well, a lot of people have woken up and have simply started resorting to voting for whomever they see as capable of effecting some change to the system. And that is not the established political class. Thus, Donald Trump.
How many times have you heard that exact story? The exact story where I just wanted to be left alone. Like, just leave me alone. And then people kept pushing and pushing and pushing to where it became so annoying that, yes, ultimately action had to happen. I know I've seen, I don't know, a dozen videos this past week of people saying that exact same thing of, look, I was just a normie. I didn't have a whole lot going. I didn't really care about politics at all until you forced me to pay attention to it. Blabs, have you seen that?
Like where everyone just wants to be left alone, of course.
Right.
I am one of them.
Right.
Hello.
I think this is I think it really nails it here. And I don't think it was a massive impact, but it was enough. It was enough of an impact to get millions of people off their, and to make a decision, and at least millions of people to get up and say something about it, or do something about it. I mean, I'd be very curious to see how many people growing up who are just like that, who didn't care about things and then felt like they had to do something about it because their hand was forced, or voted for the first time because you touched my passion, you touched my hobby, you touched my games, because they touched my game. They touched my game, so now I have to go out and do something about it, right? I think that's totally fair. I don't know, what type of impact do you guys think that actually made? Do you think it was Trump won the election pretty handedly, I would say, between in all three measurables in the United States? You wonder if it was gamers whether it was 1%, let's just say it was 1%, and 1% of, I mean, that's a pretty huge number. That's 9 million people in the United States, whatever it is. That's a ton of people. But let's just say it was 0.5%. Do you think like 5 million people were that pissed off that they voted the other way, or voted for the first time, based off of all this stuff that happened in Gamergate and the trickle-down effect from it?
I think this is being a little bit reductivist again, because Asmongold is very new to this. He is the normie who has come in at the end of this thing. This entire project started 10 years plus ago.
Right.
I started talking about this on my old Warhammer lore channel specifically because I saw this happening in Warhammer, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get out ahead of this long before it actually gets starting. But this created a whole slew of content creators and influential people on YouTube, largely, that started talking about this and educating people about it. I mean, I would never have bothered learning about Antonio Gramsci, for example, if it wasn't necessary. Nor would the majority of people. I don't think most people wanted to hear about dead communist scholars or philosophers. But it became necessary because we were being affected by that form of politics that was out explicitly to reduce Western society and destroy its values and its societal structure. And you don't want to think about that. Like when we were watching Star Wars and Star Trek, playing Warhammer, nobody bothered thinking about that. It was silly. But that, of course, then builds up year after year after year. And it's not just so simple as gamers did this. It's we talk to the majority. Everyone then becomes more accustomed to, okay, there is something greater. There isn't just the usual political paradox of Republican versus Democrat. The left has, in fact, radicalized quite a lot. No, it's not just a pride parade and so on. All of this has a trickle-down effect, again, from creating people who started to make content illuminating all of this. So, yeah, saying it's gamers is correct, but also, you know, it's a very small point of view and a very large movement.
I've talked about how when the original GamerGate was happening, I had my head down. Like I was too busy making content and videos, running a business. And I was working in the gaming space. You know, I had Screw Attack at the time. This was a decade ago, 2014, when the first time it rolled around. And I heard about it on the periphery. And, you know, I heard what most people, it was this thing that was bad, and it had a, but like the more I learned about it, especially since side scrollers started back up, you know, 3 years ago now, or 2 years ago now, it was really like, as I learned about it, it was like, holy shit, like that, the narrative that has been spun by traditional mainstream media, it's all just a fucking lie. And then to see a year ago when all this stuff happened with, you know, GamerGate 2, and going back to the journalism aspect and see them openly omit facts in articles. You know, I go back to the Kotaku article with Mercante, where she just totally omitted the idea of why Cabrutus was making his group with the DEI detected, and why, and that she left out the fact that the Sweet Baby Inc. employee was harassing him. Like the idea that those things would just be omitted to spin a narrative was like shameful to me, and is shameful to me. And yeah, I'd say that is very much, you know, I was already on my way to being red pilled, but just, you know, that red pill moment of like, man, this is really fucked up. It's pretty amazing to see. But I do think that there was definitely a dramatic effect that happened from this. And I think Asmongold is right. You know, whether it was enough to swing an election, I do think it started 10 years ago, 11 years ago with the original GamerGate. And that one girl, you know, was it Zoe Quinn sleeping with 5 guys, and the trickle down effect from that. Like, what a weird timeline we live in, where this psycho lady sleeping with 5 dudes had a trickle down effect to Donald Trump being elected. Like, wow, it is insane to think about. And a lot of people are pointing out, Mercenary says, I disagree with Asmongold. The problem is that those powers that be saw those who wanted to be left alone as an actual threat to their delusion. They saw the potential and wanted this to snuff it out. And Cord, go ahead, Arch.
Somewhat, yes, but they fell for the great flaw of every political movement that gains authority and power, in that they think that they are the only ones to wield it, and therefore they will see an opposition and go, well, you're just dum-dums, we'll just crush you. And when you don't actually have truth or the argument on your side, you will just make yourself out to be a fool. The conservatives have done this. The progressives have obviously done this. This is hubris of the party that is in power. Like when in the 1980s, the Republicans created like a 500, 800 page report on how pornography was damaging. Because they were like, okay, this will be a great electoral promise. We can wipe out pornography. And then after paying like $7,000 per page to produce this thing, they were sat there like, I can't actually find any evidence to support our position. So we've just made ourselves look like idiots in public now.
Corrigan came in and says you can go all the way back to 2015 with Sargon of Akkad when Gamergate started. He got into politics / culture war because of intersectional feminism. And as a result, that red pilled me. I was normie as fuck. Right. Yep. Yeah. And I would love to have Sargon on the channel one day just to kind of talk about his journey through all this stuff. I mean, he's obviously seen a lot of success with his own YouTube channel, and learning about him and learning about kind of what he's done over the years. It's been interesting. Marmalin says 2012/2013, they attacked Wizard Shan with the Five Guys Zoe being the primary cry wolf victim. People who wanted to be left alone, and then V got involved, which friends and I became more political. Thank you, Marmalin. Yeah, right. Nathan says, the bigger reason I became more vocal and political was because they started shoving their politics into my games. I've red-pilled a lot of people because I channeled that autism from games to politics.
And there's one of the important things as well, the ability to actually recognize what the politics is. I don't think I have the original link anymore, but I can show you this one. This is from my Twitter, where Stone Toss has a very rare L, where he basically tries to conflate the idea of wokeism in video games with, like, Half-Life, for example, with Alex Vance in there, right? Alex Vance? Was that her name? Alex? And the thing is, it's not that. Like, woke isn't when black people. Woke is a political ideology with a very specific goal in mind to ruin Western society. And it's very important that we remember that and retain that knowledge and not be reductivist about it. Because again, the moment you fail to be able to accurately identify your opponent is when you give them back the advantage again. And that is why we were able to do all of this, because we did educate ourselves. We were able to identify what we were actually up against. And so we were able to look into games and go, no, this is actually woke. This is actually a political agenda. I can recognize it as such, and I don't like it.
Curtis King says, as with most things in politics, an ancient Greek philosopher covered it best. You may not care about politics, but politics will care about you. Yep, the left and their mother. Yep, for sure. Yep. Thank you very much. It's a great saying. And Mercenary says, the powers that be unleashed is sleeping giant that sees them as a challenge now to be conquered. Fun fact, George Washington was a card player that then they taxed his playing cards, then crossing a river. Yeah, thank you, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Corrigan says, seeing real-world politics being injected into games and media during the 2015-16 era led me to become more educated about politics, as it was affecting my hobbies. I abandoned Magic the Gathering after Dark Aragorn. And I think that's the most important thing. We talk about that all the time. Vote with your wallets. And people have done that. And going back to the game we just talked about with Dragon Age Veilguard, right? All the things that came out about that. People voted with their wallets. And now 3 months later, they're giving it away. They're giving the game away in hopes of developing an audience for it. That tells you everything you need to know about it. It's nuts. Torgos is related. Bezos just stomped on the WAPO, the Washington Post staff. Yeah, you know, that actually was on our run sheet today. And let me actually pull it up because it is kind of related. Did you see this earlier today, Blabs?
No, I didn't.
So, what, the second richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, owner of Amazon, the Washington Post, the whole thing, he went in and pretty much changed their entire direction of the Washington Post. He said, I shared this note with the Washington Post team this morning. I'm writing to let you know about a change coming to our opinion pages. We're going to be writing every day in support and defense of two pillars: personal liberties and free markets. We'll cover other topics too, of course, but viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others. There was a time when a newspaper, especially one that was a local monopoly, might have seen it as a service to bring to their readers' doorstep every morning a broad-based opinion section that sought to cover all views. Today, the internet does that job. I am of America and for America, and proud to be so. Our country did not get here by being typical. I think that's a powerful statement here. Our country did not get here by being typical. And a big part of America's success has been freedom in the economic realm and everywhere else. Freedom is ethical. It minimizes coercion and practical. It drives creativity, innovation, and prosperity. For David Shipley, who I greatly admire, the opportunity to lead this new chapter, I suggested to him that if his answer wasn't hell yes, then it had to be a no. After careful consideration, David decided to step away. This is a significant shift. It won't be easy, and it will require 100% commitment. I respect his decision. We'll be searching for a new opinion editor to own this direction. I'm confident that free markets and personal liberties are right for America. And I also believe these viewpoints are underserved in the current market of ideas and new opinion. I'm excited for us together to fill that void. So,
what a load of waffle. What'd you zoom in on me? What'd you do that for?
Because your face.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit. Oh, free market, blah, blah, blah. Dude, you own Amazon that's literally taking over everything. Stores are shutting down all over the world because of Amazon. Oh, free market. Oh, I want to get in this direction. Dude, you were kissing freaking Biden's ass for the last 4 years. Oh, new direction. He's just going with the times. That's it. What a load of waffle. The end.
I agree with you in that we've seen this countless, we've seen this especially over the last 6-7 years. Whatever the administration is, that's the way these businesses flow, right? And I think that's what you saw here. It would have been really great if he said that 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but he didn't, and I would say take it as a win, but I'd say take it as a grain of salt, because it's like, he's doing what's best for business. If he did that 2-3 years ago, awesome. But there you go. Ian came in with 10 gifted memberships.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said 10 gifted membership.
No. Shit.
There you go. Thank you,
Woo.
Ian. Ooh, woo! Indeed. Where's Kirsha when you need her? She needs to be bouncing around up there.
Oh, hang on. Let me see. There's so many. There's this one.
Yeah, there she is. Just bouncing. What do you think of that, Arch? Then Kirsha just bouncing around in her fake old Ghiblies there. Oh my God. Daryl Lade, I can't even say your name. I fucked it up. I'm sorry. But thank you. Says, as a normie gamer, I got so tired of being villainized in almost every media outlet, but bringing that to video games was just too far. Daryl Tatularan, I fucked up your name again. Thank you very much. And yes, preach, my friend. Ian says, I don't trust him. Bezos is a political chameleon. Yes. Yep. It's a great way to say it, Ian. Nathan says, the only thing I would disagree with Asmongold on is GG triggered this cultural GG2 triggered this cultural shift. It was part of a red-pilled snowball that included GG1, the 2016 election, The Last Jedi, and the 2020 lockdowns. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I really don't. I think that for me, the big waking up moment for me, and I know for a lot of folks, was 2020 and the lockdowns associated with that. Where it's like, yo, this is fucking crazy. All right, we do see every super chat, every direct donation, every Rumble rant. We'll get to them, including Scarfy says, I can think of no better ending to GamerGate than that Salon article. Probably an exaggeration, but in terms of, if the terms are you take our game, then we take your government, I'll roll with it. Do you know that Salon article?
Yes, I'll put it there. I did a video on it like a day ago. It is a fantastic article. It is just one long, screaming, screeching, rage-filled rant from beginning to end, including the accusation that GamerGate was started because we were, incredibly jealous of the male feminists getting all of the women.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's good. Wow.
And in it, they like it's full on mask off. Like Elon Musk is evil. He's a Nazi. He's a tyrant. It's literally just nothing but screaming hatred. And I love the core idea as well, which is Gamergate destroyed the federal government. Oh, yes, yes. Thank you.
I need to check that article out. We need to dig into that a little bit more tomorrow. I haven't seen that. Dirt is King says, as a longtime fan of Dragon Age, who got the collector's edition, the game sad and soul destroying. I would not wish it upon my worst enemy to play through that abomination. It's a soulish Dragon Age 2. Thank you, Dirt is King. Fondo says, Andre from Midnight's Edge always says, to be Norwegian, you have to be a little dead inside. Dave Crazy will do that. Hashtag Montez.
It will. It will. You got to embrace it, okay? It's the only spice you'll get in life in Norway.
That's right, because you don't put salt and pepper on your food. You got to get it from getting stabbed in the forehead, right, Arch?
Correct. Actually, let me regale you with one dining-related story to give you an idea of the spice.
Go ahead, Arch. You got the floor.
Full screen and everything. Go help me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about you two. Okay, there's the first question. Do you like the biting and the scratching in the bedroom?
I can't answer that one.
Yes, Arch, tell us more.
Well, I was with one girl who did like that biting and the scratching. Which
I'm sorry,
which
real quick.
caused,
I'm sorry. Look at how red Blabs' face is.
Oh, she is into a bit of biting and scratching herself, aren't you?
Don't talk about my internet daughter like that. That's weird.
Woo!
Oh, gross. All right. Holy redness is right. What works in the chat? Look at that. Hold on. Oh my God.
Oh boy. Hello.
Listen, on that note, I nearly deleted this the other day, but I didn't. I'm glad we still have this picture here. Blabs.
Oh, you mean the underwear? Hang on, I still have it right here. I keep it on the desk for emergencies.
Oh,
why do you keep it on the desk?
Well, it's not mine. I bought it in Japan. For show and tell emergencies, that is.
If you bought it in Japan, by definition, it's yours. That's your underwear now.
No. I mean, it is mine, but first of all, it doesn't fit me. There's way too many holes. I would never wear it anyway. So I got a vending machine in Japan.
Yeah. Your underwear.
I mean, I guess, but I've never worn them. Like, the tag's still on it and everything.
Yeah, hold on. Blabs, this is a legit question. What the hell do you mean by for emergencies? What does that even mean?
When you guys bring it up, I was like, oh yeah, I have it. Here it is. Here's the story again. Not like I actually need to use it. I'm in my room. I can just grab my own underwear anytime I want.
Okay. All right. So
don't keep your own underwear as close.
You were saying, Arch? I'm sorry.
Anyways, yes. Into biting and scratching, and this left marks, of course. Now, normally that wasn't a problem, but I was at Christmas dinner with my family, and I hadn't noticed that I had a literal bite mark here, like a big red one. And I was sitting next to my aunt, who looked over at me and like, what have you done here? It looks like something scratched or bitten you. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Well, you see, my cat, my cat scratched me there. That was the first thing that came to mind. And 5 seconds later, I think my cat died 6 months ago. And I look across the table where my girlfriend is sitting opposite me, and she is almost bursting. Like, her entire face is barely containing her urge to sit there giggling out loud, staring at me and my aunt. And I'm just sitting there praying like, don't say meow, don't say meow, don't say meow.
Meow?
Yes.
I imagine this was your face, that face right here. The cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cat.
I feel like we learned.
That's a nice nickname for your girlfriend. The cat did it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like the shirt meme. It's like the cat scratch me. I'm the cat.
It was actually her pussy, wasn't it? That's good. Wasp came in with a 10. Says, I did not expect Arch to be a follower of Slanesh, yet here we are. Be careful with the crazy bud. There you
The
go.
crazy is good. It's the only spice we get up here.
I appreciate that. I appreciate your openness to really appreciate the craziness. It's good.
Oh, that's funny. We're gonna have a whole compilation of Arch's relationship.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Got all the timestamps.
I'll keep the best story for later, the one with Svalbard in it.
Please. I think that with what? I'm sorry?
The Mines of Svalbard is somehow related to one of my girlfriend's families. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
I can't wait.
One of my girlfriends, he says. How many girlfriends do you have at the present moment?
Yeah.
At the present moment, not several at the same time, but, over the years.
Okay. Clarification.
Okay, sounds good. Ian says, even if your cat scratched you, you wouldn't be wearing leather at the table.
That's true. Although leather is a good protection against scratches. Just saying.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, man. Can someone explain the outrage about COVID and the lockdowns to me? I mean, we were in a pandemic. People were dying. Just trying to understand.
Well, the cancellation of civil liberties, in essence, was the big thing. Especially as the COVID pandemic has we shouldn't even really be saying that word on YouTube anymore, which is also illustrative of the sheer scale of the deprivation of civil liberties. That was the one that introduced those little dumbass blurbs underneath YouTube videos to go like, actually, doctors, blah, 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 even just by the mentioning of the magic words. YouTubers weren't allowed to speak about it. Only the official sources were, who were later proven to be largely full of shit. The casualty numbers had been wildly exaggerated, and just a simple fact, too, that this wasn't the first major plague to rip through civilization. We've had significantly worse diseases and pandemics over the course of human history where we didn't just go like, no, your rights don't matter anymore.
Right. That was the big thing for me, is how quickly it went from 2 weeks to a month. And then it's, well, you're going to wear a mask. And if you don't, you son of a bitch. And then and then you just think about it logically. Like, okay, so I sat on the plane ride back yesterday from Florida. I sat next to this poor, sweet old lady, probably 80 years old. And she had this paper thin mask on. And she goes, don't mind me. I just want to be protected from COVID. And I wanted to tell her, what you're wearing is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing for you, right? Your mask is doing nothing. Like, it doesn't make it in a giant error on the side. It's like nothing about it made sense. And I felt so sorry for this lady, but it's like, it goes back to the idea, like, I don't care how you live as long as you don't tell me how I live. Now, she was like, you need to wear a mask for me. I was like, fuck off, lady, but she wasn't. She was just a sweet old lady trying not to get COVID. And it's like, okay, whatever. And I felt sorry for her. But yes, it came back to the original question. It was about the erosion of civil liberties, the authoritarianism that we saw across the world, the idea of just the various scare tactics, the sheer propaganda that we saw on news outlets, the rising number of deaths on a day-to-day basis that they use to scare you. And the fact that if you didn't toe the company line, which was wrong, which was inaccurate, that you were ostracized. For me, I would say, when you go back and you look at that time, the thing that was like the big light bulb moment for me was when all these companies got the free pass, where they're like, hey, if anybody dies, it's not their fault. And it's like, yo, what? Like, seriously? You're just gonna like throw out this shot and everything's gonna be just fine if people die, and they're gonna get a free pass, and you can't be sued. Like, there's no consequences to making this poor thing, making this thing which I don't know. It's a rabbit hole to go down, and I get that people were, like, people did die, right? They died, but we were told that everyone was going to be certain death. But then we realized that no, it was actually for people who were fat and had issues and old, like all these comorbidities and all this stuff. And that stuff, if you said any of that stuff, even if you say it now, you're thought of as like, well, medical misinformation. So yes, there was a lot there. So,
and just the how quickly it turned, because you went from hug a Chinese day to triple mask, triple vax, and don't you dare leave your house.
Right. Yeah, it was a lot. And there's I think a couple of years ago, I found my journal that I was writing in and around COVID, and I read what I wrote, and it was all built around fear because everyone was so scared and they used that fear. Anyways, we could talk about COVID. We can do a COVID, I don't want to do that, but it was just a giant mess. So Tamamo came in and says, in the UK, we were told masks protected others, not you. It stops germs coming from you, not to you. Had to wear a mask then all day at work. It was horrible. Oh my gosh.
And that is true. But you know what would have actually worked instead of the masks? Gloves. Because that was where a lot of it came from. You would touch things. You would open the doors of the fridge at the supermarket, right? You touch other things that a lot of people touch, which had the droplet infection of COVID on them. And then you'd touch your eyes or your mouth, etc. If people had simply been told, no, wear gloves, and when you're wearing the gloves, take the gloves off and wash them. Don't touch anything. That would have done far more to prevent this than the masks ever did.
Yeah. Going, like I said, we'll need to do a whole, that's, okay. Yeah. Corona says, don't forget we were locked in our homes while the rule makers got to go to their hair salons, hanging out in Times Squares. You were only allowed outside to support BLM. Suddenly, no diseases. Yep. Marksman came in. Yep, for the politicians who forgot the rules. And Marmalin says, pre-2020, I never understood the whole Mustachio Man rise to power / overtake citizens like it did. After 2020, watching neighbors turn on each other, I understood the power of propaganda.
And the destruction of civil society as well. Like the whole rise of Austrian man is a fascinating subject that I've been looking into recently. Now, do not, under any circumstances, bring this up on screen. But this is a fantastic example of how bad it was to see the rise of Hitler. Because a lot of people now are like, oh my God, Trump is Hitler. No. Trump is not Hitler, because we had it nowhere near as bad as it was in Weimar Germany. This is a book that shows some of the excesses.
Oh my God!
Yes. The excesses of Weimar Germany. It is worse than you can imagine. Like, Hitler didn't arise out of nothing. He arose out of 10 years of just the sickest, craziest, overblown depravities you can imagine. It makes the average Pride parade today look like an absolute kindergarten fest by comparison.
Holy shit!
Yep, Weimar Germany.
Why? Oh,
All right.
I gotta clear my history.
All right. Let's on other news, Death Proof says, I myself am a bit of a nipple nibbler. Thank you for that, Death Proof. That's a nice little palate cleanser on that. And Ghislaine Dickhouse, I know I'm butchering that on purpose, says it was 100% a hoax. Tried to tell all my loved ones not to get the jab. Never wore a mask myself. Ran city trails, routinely passing many people breathing the same air. Never got sick. And Hexforge says, you kept rejecting this, but I ended up souring on the gaming press with their defense of Mass Effect 3 ending back in 2012. Journalists had been building the Gamergate powder keg for years. Hexforge, thank you very much. All right, let's go to our lead today. We've bounced all over the place today, and it's been a really fun show, if I'm being totally honest with you. But before we do, we did get another Montez goal today, which means we now have 8 Montez animations. We just saw Duck Hunt, Arch. We going Mike Tyson's Punch Out or Tetris?
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Bitch!
There we go. Mike always wins. Always. Crazy. All right. We do have one last. I'll put one more Montez goal up right now because why the hell not? And I will say this: I like Tetris the best. So if we can get to that last Montez goal, maybe we can get Tetris today as well. Okay, let's talk about our lead story today, and that is what happened over the last couple days with Warner Brothers Games, WB Games. Have you been watching this from afar, Arch?
I have a little bit, yes, because I've always been a DC kind of guy over Marvel myself.
Okay. Well, Warner Brothers Games has been a giant mess to the fact that they have laid off, they have shut down 3 different studios in the last 24 hours. But I think before we get there, Blabs has done a very good job of putting together kind of a background here, Blabs. So why don't you give us a rundown of kind of the success and how we got to this point?
Right. So I'll start from like 2023, which was the successful launch of Hogwarts Legacy. It sold millions of copies. It was the #1 selling game in 2023, and it's still doing well to this day. Now you gotta think about how much money that game made, right? And by 2025, that game is gone. And you gotta wonder, why is all the money gone? Well, after Hogwarts Legacy was launched, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was released, and that game failed over $200 million. In fact, it was shut down by like December, was it not? Like where they're like not continuing service anymore, etc., etc. It was a giant failure. Then Multiverses was released, and that game also flopped. That, with the combination of Quidditch Champions that was released in late 2024, it lost over $100 million. And then a couple of weeks ago, Multiverses is shutting down for good, and I'm pretty sure Quidditch Champions is going to be done for by the end of this year because they keep updating it and keep shutting down the game for patches, and I'm like, this doesn't sound very good, my personal opinion there. And then a couple of weeks ago also, David Haddad, the CEO of WB Games, was like, bye-bye, so he's now leaving as well. So you have one really amazing year of 2023 with Hogwarts Legacy doing phenomenal numbers, and Warner Brother Games like, yes, 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 we're doing amazing, and then they just tank everything after that. And all of that money made for Hogwarts Legacy has to have been blown out the window, because where is it? I mean, all these budgets, overblown budgets. I mean, Wonder Woman was in the works since 2021. And how many millions of dollars did they say that game was already like spent on? And it's gone now too. So I'll let Craig lead this, but it's nuts. It's nuts.
Well, let's go over to the bustling hub of information known as Blue Sky.
The safety net.
As Jason Schreier apparently broke this story. It says Warner Brothers Games is shutting down Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and WB San Diego. Sources tell Bloomberg News. Warner Brothers is also canceling the Wonder Woman game. And talking about this right here. This was 3 weeks ago. It says the Wonder Woman game is in trouble. Rocksteady is working on new Batman that is ages away. And the next 2 years look grim. Very, very grim. He said, I see a lot of people respond to the news with complaints about David Zaslav, but it was President David Haddad who ran Warner Brothers Games for the last decade who was responsible for overseeing all the studios and their output. By the time David Zaslav took over WB Discovery in April 2022, Monolith had already gone almost 5 years without shipping a game and lost almost its entire leadership team under Haddad's management.
Woeful management. Woeful.
This is obviously huge news in the world of video games and the amount of people who have lost their jobs. Between WB San Diego, it's about 40 people who lost their jobs over there. Player First Games was around 70. Monolith Productions, 131. So another 250 people have lost their jobs in the last day, which, I wish I could tell you that nobody saw this coming. Before we get to that, Arch, do you have any thoughts on the decisions here? Was this just something that we all knew was going to happen?
I actually think this is the correct decision from WB. They need to cut the fat. And Monolith Studios hasn't produced anything for like 8 years at this point. And we know nothing about the Wonder Woman game, practically. Like, it had one teaser trailer, and it was supposed to use the Nemesis system, and that was about it. Like, we have no idea. Like, maybe it was a month away from release, in which case this was stupid, but more likely, it had probably been rebooted like 2 or 3 times and was just not going to be launched in the foreseeable future.
Well, they did release a statement. A spokesperson said, saying to the Hollywood Reporter, says, "Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible with our strategic priorities." Speaking of the Wonder Woman game, this is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of these teams or the talent that consists within them. Of course not. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on excited about getting back to producing high quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios, and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond.
And honestly, the only way they're going to do that is by just cutting everything and starting over again at this point. It's like they're not producing anything. They don't have a games branch. Like they had the Arkham series, which was amazing. And DC just needs to salt the earth and start over again.
They need to doge it. I've said this before. The video game industry needs to be doged. You know, as far as cutting 50%, 60%, 80% of the staff here. We did have this story from IGN, as apparently the canceled Wonder Woman game was, quote, gorgeous and expansive. So, you know, and this is probably looking at it through rose-colored glasses, because the reality is that if it was that gorgeous and expansive, it would have been released. It would be released.
And they spent millions of dollars for this game because it was already in the works since 2021 when they announced it. So it could have been even in the works before then. But I did want to also mention that, because I forgot to mention this before, WB Games in 2024 laid off at least 99 staff members at Warner Brothers Montreal, not to mention half of Unbroken Studios that co-developed Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Quidditch Champions was also laid off at the end of 2024. So, like, they have a couple hundred layoffs in the last few years with WB Games. It's wild.
Well, we have this from apparently a Monolith dev. This is from over on Reddit. Kotaku in action over there. They have this post. It says, Tracy, they, them. Hi, everyone. Actually, you know what, Blabs? I want you to read this.
I'm a they, them. I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. This message is 100% unofficial and unauthorized. Thank you all so much for your fandom and your kind words and for all the time you've spent with us. I love all of your Nemesis stories, and I am so brokenhearted we won't be able to share Wonder Woman with you. Don't listen to anything anyone said about the project stalling or failing. It was going to be absolutely killer. I know every dev will say this about something they worked on, but it was going to be amazing. I am not allowed to say much, but I can at least say that every single person was pouring their heart into it, and it showed. Our narrative team had a fantastic and deeply meaningful story. Especially in these really difficult times, I felt the world really needed the story we were telling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Agenda.
Yeah, I think I know what that means.
I think we all understand what that means. 100%. Especially in these horrible times, they, them. Okay. All right. I think we all get what's going on with that. So
Tracy is probably like Troy.
What are the chances that Tracy has a dick?
That's what I'm saying. It's probably named Troy, not Tracy or Tyrone.
Tracy throwing over there, throwing out the 3-inch wonder. It's good. Good for Tracy over there. But Blabs, you noticed that several of the websites for these games
Yes.
have already been shut down, huh?
Yeah, so I went looking around and I went looking at WB Games San Diego, and their careers post page has been completely nuked. It says, sorry, you ran into an issue, like does not exist, all these other things. The Monolith Productions website completely redirects to WB Games. Like you can't find anywhere. So this is for San Diego. That one is completely scrubbed. Like I said, Monolith is completely gone. It just redirects. You can literally see www.monolithproductions.com, whatever the URL was, and it just redirects. And it also redirects for players' first games. That completely redirects to WB Games already. So they have done a thorough job at scrubbing everything, nuking everything. And like some of these Twitter accounts haven't been updated for days. They haven't been set. There's no announcement saying we're closed. It's just radio silence. So.
Well, a lot of people losing their jobs, as always, in the video game industry. And we've said this before. It's going to get worse before it gets better. There is a list of Warner Brothers games, and you mentioned that that the Wonder Woman game has totally been scrubbed off this, huh?
Yes. So we had actually looked at this list a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, don't forget Wonder Woman's coming out, guys. And that's been scrubbed from the giant list of WB games. If you scroll all the way at the bottom, the last thing is basically like Quidditch Champions.
Yeah. They don't even include it on there anymore. That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. And we go back to the number of people who have been laid off. And we have this right here. You know, you can see the number of folks that have lost their jobs. Skeleton Key, they got, there's people losing jobs every day in the video game industry, it seems. Just in the last week, I said 250 plus. But it's tough. It's tough out there, guys. It's tough. Do you think this will improve at all, Arch, or do you think that we are at a point to where a tipping point where it's going to get even worse before it gets better for folks in the video game industry?
Probably. I don't know if we're at the tipping point yet, because there's going to need to be a lot of retooling and reorganizing. That's going to take half a decade or more, especially now as they are also going to be engaging in competition with China, who can create better quality games faster and cheaper than the West. Like, it needs the entire culture of working in the gaming industry needs to change, especially with this year was the Wonder Woman game here, where people have been cashing in a paycheck at a company for 8 years without producing anything. And they're just like flabbergasted, like, why did you fire us? You didn't make anything.
Right. It's yes, because you've been collecting a paycheck for 60 months or whatever, that's I'm with you on that. Like, what have you produced? Obviously nothing, literally nothing of value. If you're willing to, take it as a tax write-off at this point, it's insane. Also insane is S96 Blue coming in with the 500 United Arab Emirates dirham. Look at that. Wow. Spectacular right there. Saying, while it sucks for me as a fan of Wonder Woman to not have a Wonder Woman game, I look at the cancellation of the game as a win. I would rather not have a Wonder Woman game rather than a trash Wonder Woman game that disrespects the character. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the way to look at it right there. And by the way, you can tell you're a big Wonder Woman fan just by your avatar right there. Thank you so much, S96 Blue. That is spectacular. Big old jiggles right there. For that. That is awesome. JJ Sickman came in and says, what are your opinions about wearing a cap in around the house or on Steam? What about a beanie? What about a cloak? You can wear a hat in the house anytime you want, or a beanie or a cloak. I just won't be wearing a cloak. Yeah, go ahead. Joey says, I've heard that in the Wonder Woman game, they couldn't figure out how to implement the Nemesis system, and that's why it was taking so long in development and ultimately canceled. Well,
it should be easy, right? Just, you're up against some of the supervillains. Just build Nemesis things with them, I guess.
I mean, hopefully it doesn't take 5 years to do. So, Master Gawa says, Gamergate didn't want politics. but when government money are at work, it's political. Zoe and Anita spoke to the UN. USAID funded anti-Gamergate news. Get Sargon's best friend Brian Martinez of Honey Badger Arcade for a Gamergate perspective. Blabs, will you write down Brian Martinez of Honey Badger Arcade, please? Thank you,
Done.
Mr. Gawa. Guys, we are just 5 more yellows away from potentially Tetris Montez, which would be great. Dan says, it's clearly Warner Brothers losing money. I had no idea that they were working on a Wonder Woman video game. Right. Like, we kind of mentioned this before the show. Like, this game, it was going to fail because nobody had any idea it was coming down the line. You see this all the time. We're crafting a great story. Well, it's going to be a great story, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Nobody knew it was coming. And Wonder Woman isn't exactly like relevant in 2025, I would say. I don't know. Archie, you were talking about that?
That's the complicated thing, right? Because technically, theoretically, DC has its 3 main pillars, which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody ever gives Wonder Woman any attention whatsoever. She doesn't have a whole lot of movies, animated films, shows, games. Yeah, 0 games, in fact, I think. But does she? Does she even have a game? I mean, she's not given any attention. I think it's because she's not really functional in today's day and age. Because Wonder Woman was, well, partially she's intended to be kind of like a, how do I put it? Like a reverse Superman is how I like to describe her. Because Superman obviously had Lois Lane who got into trouble and Superman would fly and rescue her. That was a key part of his character. Wonder Woman is the opposite, where she has Steve Trevor, the World War II veteran whom she saves, and she has to go rescue him as he's infiltrating Nazi secret scientist bases and so on. It's actually a kind of good trope, I think. I like the idea of it, but you can't really have a character today whose personality revolves around a man or a relationship. And so Wonder Woman has always been kept aside from all of the other characters. And when she is developed in a romantic direction, it's usually really, really poorly done. So and without that, and without Greek mythology, which is almost never used either with Wonder Woman, she's just Superman, but female.
Right. That's a good question. Chat, is Wonder Woman relevant in 2025? Because I know there was and Blabs, you pulled that up. Go ahead.
Well, no, this is Arch. Arch has this.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. I mean, technically, this is supposed to be the 3rd pillar of their franchise, but they sure as hell aren't treating her as such.
No.
I think that, they had the movies a couple years ago, the first Wonder Woman movie, which performed really well. Then they did Wonder Woman 84, which, if I recall, that kind of flopped.
I didn't like that. I mean, I didn't even really particularly like the first movie, although I loved the twist in it. It had an excellent twist. But again, like they're not focusing in on her at all. So, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure Harley Quinn is more popular than she is.
I don't disagree with you on that. I really don't. I don't disagree with you on that at all. I think that you may be right about that. Blabs, we have this post over here from Savvy. What's going on with this?
She's just been looking at some of the people working on Wonder Woman. Now, I haven't been able to have like a thorough read yet, but it might actually be worth looking at all those screenshots that these are the people who were supposedly working on it.
If you can read this as Savvy, that'd be great. Go ahead, fire away.
Okay. Well, I feel like I should be like hiding from the sun right now.
That's
okay,
right.
decide to have a peek at the people who were let go yesterday, and I'm surprised at the number of writers working on Wonder Woman. Too many cooks in the kitchen is how you end up with narratives that don't make sense and feel like HR was over your shoulder. This is a small mix of them, but quite a few writers. Also, EA is apparently silently letting people go. Found one in this mess from only a week ago. Anyway. Cypher has obviously made threats around celebrations, but I don't see anyone really celebrating. They're just pointing out, do a bad job and focus on the wrong things, and you're going to get cut. She's very much the same person who likes to use idle threats to get away, and this is no different. You're not tough, Cypher. You're an adult. You're a sad adult who relies on threats. But who were the others? So this is Cypher, to be found elsewhere. Yes, the news is true. I'm a free agent open to opportunities. Almost 2 years pouring my heart into Wonder Woman game. Hashtag RIP Monolith Productions. I fucking refuse to share that ghoul's article and do not send it to me if you value not being verbally flayed to the bone. Any of you motherfuckers say a fucking word about us deserving it, I will come for you. Do not try it with me or any of my colleagues. Sword emojis. I'm logging off for a bit and try to process this news. GIF.
Okay.
I will come for you, but I'm leaving the internet right now. Wow.
It seems counterproductive.
You seem to have sucked an entire company dry, Cypher. Maybe some introspection could be in order.
I have a question. If you're a writer for a game, right? Why are you spending 2 years like this? Maybe I don't understand this about the process of a giant AAA title like this. When you have a game like this, shouldn't the story be the first thing that's done so you can craft everything around that story? And why are you, if you're a writer, why are you still there 2 years later? Shouldn't the idea is I write the game, right? I create the narrative, and then everything is built around that narrative. Why are you still there 2 years later? It seems
Probably
more like
endless rewrites.
that's the thing. I mean, maybe, but like, doesn't that seem very ass backwards? You know, the idea that if
It does, but what if like there's somebody above them saying, I don't like this, redo this part, redo that part, and then when they're constantly being told redo, then things don't flow anymore. And like, well, if we redo this, we have to redo that. So either that or like as Savvy's saying, too many cooks in the kitchen, nothing is flowing. There's people who aren't even supposed to be writers writing, you know, like they're not skilled at writing. I feel like it could be a combination of all the above where management is just like overbearing as well.
Right, but once again, shouldn't you finalize the story before anything else, regardless of rewrites and stuff? You get all the rewrites done. Like that should be the first preliminary side of it. You get the story done to completion, then you start everything else.
I would say so, but maybe they can work on the basics of things, like basic features, graphics, things like that they could just start working on that would normally take a while. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. Maybe crunch time. Again, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I don't know.
Right.
I also suspect, because I'm with you, like with this on Craig, you should finish 98% of this. And if there are changes, sure, like things don't go as you think, you need to rewrite this part, add in some dialogue, all of that makes sense, right? But I think a lot of this also comes from just not knowing how to write this character. Because we're sitting here as like, we don't really know if she's relevant. And there's a lot of problems with writing specifically female characters in the current day to not just make them into either the strong woman, of which there is exactly one in modern writing, or to try to change her and then running up against the character and going like, well, I'm ruining the character now. I mentioned Harley Quinn. I just finished recording like an hour-long video on her and how they've ruined her again and again because they try to separate her from the Joker. They don't understand what makes Harley Quinn appealing, and so they keep writing themselves in circles, going like, well, this ruins the character. Shit, okay. Go back. Okay, there we go again. Oh, fuck, now we're still ruining her. And it just goes because they don't want to accept that some characters have bases that aren't current year politics. I mean, Wonder Woman is from 1940s. Like trying to make her fit into the political paradigm of today is dumb and wasteful.
Well, there's more here from Savvy. If we want to kind of take a further glance on this, Blabs, I'll let you be Savvy's voice here.
We know the monolith of today isn't the same as yesterday, but I'd say the focus and hiring practices really brought on some interesting characters. Now, obviously, we look at the profiles, BLM, Stop, AAPI Hate, Perispera, Ad Astra, Do Not Obey in Advance, She, They. I spoke with trans and gender queer developers about working in games. That sounds like a priority. Yeah, next.
Okay.
Howdy, I'm Ellie. I'm a narrative designer at Monolith working on Wonder. I'm all about diverse game storytelling, game academia. Feel welcome to add if is your jam. So the only thing wrong there is like diverse games with the, you know, the gender agenda there. But yeah. Yeah.
There you go. A neurodivergent sage, an ex-mortician. That's good.
Feral altruist? She's a feral altruist. You don't want to mess with Ellie.
I don't even know what that is.
She's insane.
Make man chick. Yeah, no, like these people. You cannot convince me for even a solitary nanosecond that these people would ever put their politics aside to write something that might sell.
Let's continue, Blabs.
Gaming is seldom actually their focus. It's fine to like Avowed, but if they consider it's well written, they're not very high on the talent list when it comes to judging quality writing. Avowed is objectively barren with embarrassing writing, benefited of a 12-year-old scene fanfiction the first time. These people always put their identities first. They have no passion in actual storytelling. We have the Nathan guy, and he's like a systemic narrative designer, quest designer, he, him. Yeah. Then Nathan says, this is just an Avowed Stan account now. What? Who does that? You're an adult. Who does Stan accounts as an adult? I understand, like, teenagers, they're all about that. But if you're an adult, I think you might have some issues. Alex is she, her, trans, maybe? Not really sure. Views are his, hers, own. Wow. With the news of Wonder Woman's cancellation and closure of Monolith, I must unfortunately add my voice to growing chorus of writers. Blah, 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 blah. Now just looking for another job. Cool. Yeah.
I'm Alex, she, her. I'm a queer screenwriter for live action, animation, and video games.
Great resume.
All right. Go hire Alex. Then we have Jennifer here. Let's continue.
Jennifer was a sad one to scroll through, and I hope she gets the help she needs. But she admits her focus is social justice. So that's an interesting one, I guess. I'm absolutely certain her love of that can be put on hold for writing. And Jennifer Alloway, senior writer, she, her, formerly Hidden Path. Okay, nothing terribly wrong, just pronouns. Hi everyone, I'm Jen. I make games and have done so for 10 years. I've done everything from little board game work to indie darlings to popular mobile narrative titles, and now I work in AAA. Follow if you like. Sociology, social justice, thoughts on narrative and games, a cute dog.
Why is it always the eyes? Always the eyes.
Always the crazy eyes, man.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Jennifer says, just canceled my Prime. Probably going to pick up a Costco card since they also deliver and reject the anti-DEA bullshit.
There we go. Jennifer, what a smart person there. Oh, here we go. And then we got this over here. Let's see.
You have so much more time than you think you do. The best thing you can teach yourself is how to fuck up. In particular, how to move forward in the fucking up part and not let it paralyze you, but still learn the lesson. Be kind, especially when it's hard, but make sure your cup is full.
She's retweeting over here.
Langon is canceling gender interforming cares for trans youth under 19s. So this person is pro-child mutilation. Shout out.
Be kind. Mutilate a child.
Yes.
Luther
is a he, she, they.
Wow.
Horny on Maine. Wow.
All right. This is good.
To the Wonder Woman fans, I'm sorry this happened. We were making something truly special and you'd have loved it. I wish you could have walked the shores of them? Is that supposed to say that? Is that like some land for the genders? To the games industry folks, anyone looking for senior quest designer with narrative experience, not you.
Wow. Sorry, Luther.
When you pass someone in the streets and give them the nod and they don't do it back, whatever have I done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? They set up a snitch line for DEI in the federal government. If you feel like sending your best copies of the B-movie script or some queer smut, have at it. And there's the email.
It's good. Good for Luther there.
How much does she do? Holy moly.
This is very savvy here.
Yeah.
This is very savvy. Well, look, that's really all we need to know. We know
I think so. They're insane. The end.
Right. And how many of, how are you supposed to write about Wonder Woman when you can't describe yourself as a woman?
Right. You don't even know what a woman is.
If you're a he, she, they, how the hell are you supposed to write about just a her? Just throwing it out there.
Hey, again, Wonder Woman is literally defined by one, being from a completely different political and social paradigm, as in ancient Greece with lesbian superpowers, and two, her relationship with Steve Trevor. Like, if all you care about is social justice, you cannot write this character. It's impossible.
I mean, they could always, as Lasus came in, says Wonder Type B.
Wonder Type B, yes.
That's good. Oh my goodness, how insane are we? Ian came in with the 10 euro money, says Ben, sexuality on resume equals straight to the bin. That's right.
Yep.
Straight to the trash. That's right.
Absolutely. Like I do the same thing. I spend a lot of money on artist commissions like every year. I go through profiles on Twitter, I see bio, keep going.
Yep. Ranger George says it's a shame that real devs have lost their jobs. The video game industry has become bloated with failed Hollywood writers, activists, and ideological grifters. Parasites leeching off already established IPs and ruining them. Ranger George, thank you so much for that wonderful support. We genuinely appreciate that. Taker says the sequel to Veilguard will be Ice Age, the Border Guard. Also, Craig, how could you not use my idea for Montez leading falling in the BAFTA stage, thus causing Mark's pants to fall down? Taker, these were great ideas. That is a dated reference. And we're going to go with things that are timeless, my friend. Although it would be fun to see Mark Hamill drop his pants all the time. On stage, not in person. Hippo says, when Wonder Woman manipulates Superman to go evil and injustice, the Amazonians sell baby boys into slavery weapons. And now there are multiple DEI Wonder Womans and other awful choices in comics with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, like you could do genuinely interesting things with Wonder Woman. Like imagine in World War II, for example, she comes from a Greek patriarchal society, or in this matriarchal, but same thing, absolute tyrannical democracy or dictatorship, right? The leader says everything. Who do you think she's going to side with in World War II? And then you can go through a whole story arc there of her figuring out, oh, democracy is actually pretty good. You know, the achievements of America as a modern day nation are amazing. Maybe my worldviews are somewhat outdated. Like, what traditions from the past can I bring to the future that are good? What of mine are outdated, and why? Like, you could do some really interesting philosophical stuff with her.
Nathan says, issue I have with a Wonder Woman game is I don't trust them to make it apolitical, which is necessary if it was to have a chance of success. And after seeing those posts from the ex-devs, yeah, I'm with you, Nathan, for sure.
Precisely.
David says Warner should hire Shift Up to make a Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, like unironically, if you just want to make a Wonder Woman game and you want it to be a guaranteed success, don't worry about making it like Shakespeare. Literally, just have a hot woman beat people up. There you go.
There you go. Tenarian says, old games are the best. I bought 3 current gen games last year. However, I bought 52 PlayStation 2 games so far in the month of February alone. Love the PlayStation 2 era. Everyone was like, eat my shorts. I listened to Korn, and no one cared about your feelings. Let's go, Tenarian. Thank you very much. He also says, I stopped visiting mainstream gaming websites like 4 to 5 years ago before the first GamerGate. He says, when they started whining about sexy female characters and letting character designs affect review scores. My love for boobs never steered me the wrong way. That did for Arch, unfortunately. So Tenarian also says, don't know about Norway, but here's why we pharaohs don't season our food. My grandfather told me it would be disrespectful to drown out our taste of the animals who gave their lives for us. Had a big impact on me as we ate the lamb I'd raised for a year. I don't know the lamb. Yeah, I like that too, but I don't know the lamb that I'm eating or the chicken that I'm eating. So,
yeah, but you can. The salt and the pepper drowns out the flavor of the soul. You know.
Well, I think it enhances the soul in a major way. It's great. Delta says it was baffling how much masks were enforced, and later shows like SNL would make fun of what everyone saw. People reusing the same filthy masks all throughout the day, yet it was enforced in any public setting here in New York. That's right, Delta. Thank you. All right, guys, we got our final Montez goal of the day. So Arch, you don't get to pick. I'm picking this one. We're going Tetris. Let's stink and go.
Bitch! Montez!
That's my favorite one. I love that. That's great. So we now have 8 different Montez, and we may need to get a wheel that we spend to pick the Montez.
To pick the Montez.
That's right. All right. We got a lot of support today, guys, and we appreciate that. That is outstanding. We're going to read every single little bit of it because you guys have been awesome. So thank you very much. Arch, I'll always give you the opportunity to bounce out as we're about to go down the super chat rabbit hole, or you can stick around. It's your choice.
I might need to, as I might do a super late Monster Hunter stream today, so that's releasing tonight. So
okay,
I
sounds
might
good.
need to go and prepare myself for that and another little stream. So
love
and
it.
have another deceased's meal, as he says.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, you don't eat your food alive, do you? That'd be weird.
No,
Like
it would be good.
That weird Chinese fish where they like just have the fish like boiled
Anyway.
alive and they pick the flesh off it. No?
It's fine. It's fine.
So Arch, leave now. No, Arch, appreciate you. Everyone, go check out the Archcast channel. Continue to have him grow over there. He's doing some great stuff as always. So appreciate you, Arch, as always, buddy.
Thank you for having me on. I'll see you all again
Thanks, Arch.
not next week, but the week after.
Yep, see you in a couple weeks, buddy. All right.
See ya.
Bye, Arch.
There's the brilliance of Arch right there, which is absolutely outstanding. All right, we do have some super chats. Guys, you guys have been outstanding today. Thank you very much for your support. We genuinely appreciate it. We're going to read every single super chat. Blaz, why don't you get started while I go take a pee?
Thank you. Okay, Mario says, happy to Craig recover from the sounding accident. Stay strong, Craig. We've all made mistakes. Just
Hey!
Labs search history.
Hey, what are you...
You were in my basement, by the way.
What? No.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
I'm
is
leaving.
Laura. You missed a lot.
Be right back.
Okay, Sony has just announced Veilguard on a PlayStation Plus in March. It really did that bad. Have a great show, folks. Love from England. Well, thank you very much, Alex, and hello to England. Jared says, welcome back, Craig. Blabs and Kay did a good job hosting while you were away. Also, if Monolith and other WB studios shut down, why not also shut down Rocksteady as well? Maybe they will. It's a great question. Or maybe aren't they working on another Batman game? So maybe that's why they're safe. Hey, y'all, bada bing. Hey, Craig, I thought yous was swimming with the fishes. Nice try, Blabs. I guess next time I suggest poisonous mozzarella sticks, Blabs. Fettuccine Alfredo, Parmesan. You know Parmesan is not even Parmigiano. And you guys need to understand the differences of cheese here. Oh, arrivederci, that's what it is. Thanks. Gokai says, oh, I get it. Instead of Blabs and Arch wearing cloaks, Craig took off Blabs' invisibility cloak. That's right. I'm like John Cena. Alabaster says, Montez! Yes. Maverick, playing Yakuza on Switch, waiting for my flight in Dallas to go see family in Mexico. My wife is a big fan and was already on 3 when I started. Well, I hope you have a safe flight. Rudy says, Ludwig's head is sponsored by Lego. Extra Onion says, Veilguard and PlayStation Plus is March. Great success. Trevor, Arch, do Nintendogs have souls or do you think they have soulless like real dogs? Sorry, Arch is no longer here, but I'll answer that. I don't think they have souls since they're not real. Anime Guy says Arch likes Injdag Kaji from Ezra Lane. He likes crazies, apparently. Xylon says I hope Arch either jailed the girl or jailed the girl, beat the heck out of her in return. Oh. Miku says you can always fix her, especially in bed. Frenchie says Arch, are you Dark Elf? I have no idea. Sorry. Squatch Hammer. Arch's type is Psych Ward. Gripper the socks. Gripper the box is Arch's motto. Bentley says, what I'm getting from this conversation is that Arch's lack of ability to handle spicy food has turned up his taste in women. At least she didn't have a hand grenade. I really want to give Arch Indian food. I really love Indian food. Empire says, speaking of medieval times, here you go. You're welcome. He, he, he. Thank you for the link. Squash Hammer says, ask Arch if he had to learn about Colombian donkey tradition at school.
I don't know if I want to ask Arch anything about things he learned in school, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Let There Be Carnage. Dragon Age will be free on PlayStation Plus in March. That didn't take long to be given away. Wasp says, hey, Blabs, did you check out the trailer for the dinosaur game? No, I haven't. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry. I do want to look at it, but I just always forget. Joey says there should be a service called Fucking Go that brings you crazy women that you get to sleep with, but you gotta have an escape plan and execute it. Dear me.
Wow, Joey.
Very thorough in his thoughts.
No joke.
Bullet says, Blabs, you were saying what celeb you look like was Emmy Rosen, but I say you're closer to Kristen Melody from The Penguin. She's even Italian. Yes, Ryan Kindle said I should cosplay as her the last time he was on, so I don't know.
Speaking of, he's on tomorrow.
Yes.
Whoop whoop.
Nice segue.
By the way, this will be the first time I've been on with Ryan. He's been on 3 times, and I've missed.
He's actually only been on once.
I thought he was on 2 other times.
No, just the one time.
Oh well, fuck yeah, let's go.
Belka says you do have Norwegian fans, Craig. Maybe not insult. That's right.
I don't insult any Norwegian fans. I love my.
He's like, I love
Norwegian fans.
all the world.
I love all of you. You're all my friends.
Lux Lush says, Craig, be like, you're telling me the Faroes had islands too?
Yeah, what? It's crazy.
Logan says, I have a crazy X story, but if I tell you, you'll get another strike on your channel.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear about that.
Logan, you should make one for our locals. They won't get a strike over there.
Tell us over on Side Scrollers on Side
Yeah, make a post on locals.
Mm-hmm.
One Tired Gamer says, also, Arch, tell Craig about the Cacharodons and their chapter master, Shade Lord Tiberius, the Redwake. Sorry, guys. He's gone. Maverick says the effects of gamers getting mobilized was bigger than they want to admit because all the people that screech about civil rights in games don't play them. Range George says, solidarity to Arch. I too have a natural inclination towards the crazy woman and have the scars to prove it. The goth ones, to be precise. Montez. What's with men and crazy women? Luffy says, I'm shocked about Michelle's passing. Had a crush on her because of Eurotrip. She was a beautiful woman. I'll mourn and watch a few of her movies today. Yeah, she was gorgeous. She was like one of the it girls in the early 2000s. Mercenary says, this isn't the hubris of the power in charge. It's the hubris of those who are evil. Mark my words. We're going to see the powers that be unmasked soon. Uh-huh. Bonus says, did you guys see Katsura Harada putting a Wookiee in his place when he got nagged about Anna's new design on Tekken on X?
No.
Glorious to witness. Nope, haven't seen. Sujad says, minor correction. Quinn whored herself out for exposure, not reviews. It's a minor distinction, but it's frequent method of attacking GG or Gamergate. Thank you very much. Miku says, don't forget the animation and comic industry too. Garbage Gate and certain to shown span back to 2011 for me. Gamergate was a critical domino to fall. Thank you. I'd rather pay $60 for Tenchu 2025 than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, but how about a Yasuke Simulator? I'd rather play that on launch.
That's right.
I will be playing that on launch. Mercenary says, don't forget Ghostbusters 2016. How can we forget? Jelani says, Pantsu. Thank you. Luigi says, thanks to DI in video games, I can save lots of money. GPUs are too expensive to upgrade, so I'll go back to playing SNES, GC, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and 64. Emulation is my friend. Jelani says, I used to work on the WB side of Monolith Games. My lead there was John Wisniewski, who later was lead gameplay character design for Concord. How fun.
Jelani, I like your avatar.
Jason says, wonder they them. All of the world's waiting for you, all the wonder and the wonders that you do. Keyrock says, it's not downright criminal that the awesome Nemesis system was only ever used in 2 games and will likely never be used again. What a waste. Mercenary says, before I forget, Craig, I got attacked by a Karen.
Oh no.
Commodore fan says, the last time Wonder Woman was truly relevant in pop culture, in my honest opinion, was the 70s with the Super Friends cartoon, Underoos, and when Linda Carter played her. Dave says, no, typically it is 2-track story and gameplay developed at the same time and loosely coupled.
That's interesting. Thanks, Dave.
And Luffy says, I have a lot of jokes about unemployed DEI hired people. Sadly, none of them work.
Hey, bada boom, hey.
And Minor on Rumble says, I just wanted to play video games. Sargon of Akkad for 2, and I think we got everybody. Yep, all caught up.
Delta says, God, I can't imagine the dialogue in a Wonder Woman game. You were born without a father? I have 2 mothers. Maybe I'm an Amazonian too. Also, welcome back, Craig. Thank you, Delta. Speaking of this girl who died, it appears to be hitting you hard, Blabs.
I mean, it's not hitting me hard, but it is sad.
So talk about her final post on Instagram. Here's a picture, last pic on Instagram, but here's why people were saying she looked like shit. Because she looked like shit.
Yep.
She definitely looked like she had gone through a rough go of it here.
Some people are saying she had a kidney transplant or whatever, and it was failing. So if that's the case, then that would be why she looks like that. As well as possibly drugs. I think it's too early to speculate yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. She did love politics, and she loved Joe Biden. So. Well, rough day for Michelle Trachtenberg's family, and obviously you never like to see anyone die ever, but rough go. So thanks for breaking that news today, Blabs, during the show.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
Actually, there's somebody in the chat. I can't remember who it was, but somebody did it. So thank you to the person. And then I was like, what? And they went and looked.
Yeah, typical Hollywood right there. All right. With that said, guys, have an excellent day. Thank you so much. Ryan Kennel joins us tomorrow. Hey, do me a favor. Open up a new tab right now and head over to sidescrollerspodcast.com. Make a new account over there. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff, and we're going to be telling you all about it coming up on Monday when we roll out what we have going on over here on Side Scrollers for our 3rd year. So on Monday is a big day. We're going 3 hours from right here. Blabs is going to be here. Phoenix is going to be here. It's going to be a great time. So make sure you guys tune in and hang out with us. With that said, have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got to go get it. Hey, 3 Montez today. Let's stink and go. Great job, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Fatality.